everybody, welcome back to Pit Stain Hobbies, the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube. And we're back on, well, obviously the messiest workbench on all of YouTube. And also the Ford Falcon XB GT Post-apocalyptic edition from Hachette, link below. So go check that out. This is, so far, going together beautifully. Terrifying amount of wires for something that I don't think really has that much lighting feature, but hell, but we got the circuit board and stuff. We got to get the other rear wheel well, tongue-tied, on, as well as the other rear rim and tire. So we're going to start with that. We'll just rip this open. How's everybody doing today? Say so in the comments, please. That's just a staple. I'm good. I'm happy. I've got models to build. That's always a good day. Let's just put this fella on here. Okay. Left fender liner. And we got DSO2 screws. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3. We'll probably want to shmoo these screws. Just, well, maybe not. I don't know. It's the older partwork models back in the day seem to have more of an issue with fouled threads from the powder coating process than have been common as of late. They seem to be better threaded. I still recommend, these could use a tiny bit of shmoo. So I'm going to get the other two in, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so technically you should put the wheel on first, but I did well. It doesn't really matter as far as I can tell. We're going to set this thing on its side here, and we're going to retrieve our rear drum brake assembly for the left side. Obviously, make sure you have your wheel studs and your center cap. And we're going to need a DS12 screw, which came in a previous pack. Here's the DS12s. Nice little flanged screw. And you can get these little boxes through my Amazon link below to store all your screws. They come with the little white labels, and they're very, very, very handy. I've purchased many of these so far. We're going to get this guy like this. We're going to put it face down. We're going to put the drum over it, and that's going to go somewhere there. Is this thing really? Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, there's probably, yeah, the wheel has a little tab. Hard to see on the camera. There it is. The wheel has a little tab on there that will line up. There we go. You'll feel it click into place. And then we're going to take our surprisingly short DS12 screw. Tiny bit of shmoo. It's amazing this tiny little screw has to hold up 1/4 of the weight of this entire vehicle. It's amazing. And you want to tighten that screw until it's basically the wheel starts giving you a little resistance and there's no wobble. So it turns a little. You don't want this thing rolling like a skateboard. I mean, that would be dangerous, especially if you live in earthquake country, One good shake and everything's gone. There's a magnet in the center hub, or center cap. Look at that. Big, beefy BF Goodrich TAs. Oh, baby. Look at that. Look at that wide meat. That's some good stuff right there. So with that done, the fender liners on there. They start talking about Dirty Harry. Why are they talking about Dirty Harry? I don't know. If I bothered to read, whatever, I would know. I would be able to speak more. Whoo boy, issue 38. Why so many wires? I'm intrigued and terrified at the same time. But let's let's cut into this bad boy. Why am I using scissors? Why not my exact, whatever. Tamiya scissors are awesome. Gotta have a pair of these things. I don't care what you do with modeling or what you build. These scissors are great. They're particularly good for cutting out your water slide decals. Decals for the people who are just going to make fun of me. I just say it for fun. But yeah, they're really, really great scissors. They're a little on the petite side if you've got, meat hooks. My hands are rather dainty and delicate for a man of my height and weight. But let's see here. We got, so many. At least they're not all twisted up, really folded like crazy people. But yeah, we got a lot of wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My God. 6, 7, 8 wires, and there's more wires in another bag. It looks like we have some probably wire retainers that you press down in places. Yeah, this looks like, instead of tape, they're using these. That's actually pretty cool. Not a bad idea. We've got some screws here, and we've got our circuit board. So we got 4, 7, 10, 13 connections on here. One of which probably goes to the battery box. So there's 12 other connections, and that is going to power all of the lights and things. I don't know if there's sound on this. I don't see like holes for a speaker. Honestly, the sound, I really don't care that much about the sound. Like on the Apache, it's cool. But I'm going to try to put a volume knob on that thing. Because even at IPMS Nationals, that thing was super loud. It was like so loud. Couldn't hold the conversation near it. But it was awesome. Oh, God, wife. 1 second. Okay, we're back. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take a little electrical tape. Let me see. Let me get out the good stuff. The 3M. So just as a precaution, I am going to put a bit of electrical tape over a couple screws here. So the circuit board holder is going right there, and we have one metal screw here and one metal screw here that are underneath the PCB. They should not touch it because of its design, but I'm just paranoid. So I am going to take a little piece of electrical tape and cover each of those screw heads just as an added precaution. We're going to well, there goes my tape holder. Put some prophylactic over these screw holes so that, hanky-panky doesn't happen with the neutrons and the electrons or whatever the hell's going on in there. And we are going to unfurl our little circuit board. There we go. And we want this oriented as such. Just like that. So we're going to put that down there. Looks good. And now we're going to get, very specifically, 3 DS10 screws here, here, and here. And then we're going to do a PS25 here, because that's going into plastic. All right, I'm going to get those screws in, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, everybody. Let's zoom on in a little bit. Okay, here we go. So we've got a whole bunch of wires here. And what we're going to do is plug them on in. Let me get my glasses out here. Let's see what we got. Are these numbered? Kinda, sorta. Oh yeah, they are. Yep. Okay. So we're going to plug the unlabeled end of the cables into their corresponding numbered sockets. So number 2, number 12. Let's see here. Where's 12? Well, let's just go by the numbers here. 3. Get that in there. And I'm just going to continue plugging these in, and then I'll show you how we're going to guide all the wires through the chassis, but they're basically all going to go through here and get held down with these little plastic tabs that we got earlier. So I'll be back in a sec. Okie dokie. All of our wires are plugged in to the proper holes. And what we're going to do now is we're going to channel these all down here. I've nipped off these parts off their little sprue ahead of time. And we're just going to push these down. Do not glue these down. God forbid we need to like move something around at some point. Don't glue these down. They do fit on nice and snug. So we're good. We're good there with the snugness. Down with the snugness. Yeah, that would not be a Limp Bizkit song or System of a Down, was it? Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. There we go. I don't do karaoke. Sorry. For anyone that's been hoping for years that Ian would do karaoke, probably not going to happen. And there's a little hook here, and we're going to hook everything under it. Probably easier to go one wire at a time. Get these under there. Get those under there. Come on, get in there. Go in your home. Too good for your home? There you go. And there we go. This is one of the more elegant solutions I've seen for wire routing on one of these models. Works rather nicely. They all fit down really well. It's quite good. All right, so that's all done. And that's it for 38. Let's go to 39. And we've got more wires. More wires and battery box. A lot of wires. So, oh, hold on. Backing out. There we go. There's all the wires. Oh, hello, Rocket. The dog just came down to the basement. My little puppy. Well, he's a puppy. He's like 4 years old, 3 years old. I don't know. Got a little AAA, 3 AAA holder right there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Where's that battery box going, this thing? Good question. I don't see a little stowage area for it just yet. They'll surprise us. Well, I mean, there's instructions. It's not going to be a surprise. You're going to see. I will show you. And we've got 4 more wires. Oh, lordy. A lot of wires. That means a lot of lights. And I'm a big fan of blinky LED things. As you can tell, I have like the seizure theater going here at all times. All right. What do we got? What are we doing? We're plugging more wires in. And then we're going to route some wires around. Okay. All right. Well, let me get these plugged in. I'll show you where they all go. All right. Be right back. Okay, we've got our 4 more wires plugged in. We're going to take cables 5 and 7 and route them down this slot right here, all the way down here. Now you can see those little pins. We're going to use these little plastic retainers. I've snipped off the sprue. Okay, and that is going to hold our wires down into that channel. And this is kind of a tight spot, I'll be honest. It might want some of these reverse tweezers. See if we can hold this to get it down there, and then use one of our screwdrivers to like shove it down. That's a fiddly one. There we go. Okay. We figured it out. But yeah, that's what we need to do for the rest. I put these little things in the spare tire well. It's the perfect storage facility for these little things. And since these are recessed, it's easiest to like push them down using a small tool. In this case, one of my Phillips head screwdrivers works fine. You could use a flathead. You could use, I don't care what you use. use a leftover pretzel. I don't give a crap. But we got to get these wires in here. Not a lot of slack on these, but they're all in. Whew! Ha! Okay. So we got those in. And now we got to take wire 6 and 8. And we got to get them into these channels here. Okay. Same with this one. You know, I got to say the wire management on this car is pretty excellent. And these probably are going back here. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah, these two are going to go back here, and it's going to be the same exact procedure as the other side. So I'll get that knocked out, and I'll be right back. Okay, all those wires are down. There's a little bit more slack on these, tiny bit, like maybe a centimeter or two. We're going to take the battery box now, and we're going to put it in here. And if you notice these notches right here and these tabs over here, you want it in this orientation. So we're going to get that in there on those two posts and then throw a couple of PSO5 screws. I really love the spare tire well for holding little tiny things while you're building. This is honestly the most convenient feature I've ever seen on a part work, is having the spare tire well available to you for a lot of the build. Pretty insane. Obviously, there's only one receptacle left on our circuit board. There is no power switch to be seen so far. Let me see how we're going to plug 15 in. It doesn't. Yeah, we're just plugging her in. So we're going to run it under this hook, the wire management hook right there. And we're going to get number 15 plugged into the circuit board. And that is the last connection to the circuit board. So that's all done. That's good. I don't know about this. There seems to be a little extra slack. And this little battery cover will just sit on there for now. It's not going to lock into anything until I think does it lock in? No, not really. I mean, kind of. I guess a little. Yeah, I guess it does lock in. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, that's it. So, okay. So I guess we're probably going to access the battery pack to replace the batteries via the trunk. However, if you saw, you could see through the bottom over here. So I may end up doing a USB power mod, which would be simply tying a USB adapter into the battery pack, because it's running on 4.5 volts, 5 volts nominal. All the models are happy with 5 volts. They don't care about, USB. So we may do that in the future. So let's go. We got 2 more stages to go. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to start with 40. Smells a little like Miller Lite. Did somebody knock over their beer earlier? Maybe. Guilty. Yeah. Well, things happen at the workbench, we need build juice, and sometimes the build juice spills. Don't spill your build juice if you can help it. Let's see. There we go. Modeling fuel. That's what we call it. There we go. Let me take these damn glasses off. Oh, I get a headache if I wear them for too long and I forget to take them off. We've got some little tubey bits. They're nice. They're preformed. And we've got a couple of metal transmission housing halves. I mean, sort of self-explanatory. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to use screws that I've had before because this didn't come with any screws. Let's see. Oh, we're just putting tubes on. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get all these tubes out. Oh, dear. Very exciting, this part work modeling. Oh, yeah, my favorite thing. There's a lot of cool new models coming out from a whole bunch of companies. I'm wondering what Hachette's going to come out with next, because so far this thing's pretty damn cool. I'm liking this. I'm liking the U96. Loving the Dalek. That's a great one. If you're not subscribed, you should. These have specific size pins, so the thick pin on this one will go towards this side. The thinner pin goes in here. And They are a good, snug press fit, just like that. And then, what do we got here? Okay. Wait. Oh, it doesn't go in there. It goes in the hole right below it. All right, there we go. I don't think there's really any need for glue on these, so that's fine. Then we got the other side has nothing. We want to, what am I turning this thing upside down now just to, okay, we got to take this, which one? Is it this? I'm confused. 40E, oh, we need this long one. So this one is going to go in this front hole. And, no. That doesn't fit. Wait a second. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Let me, oh, it's over here. No. Wait a second. 40E. Did this thing break in half? No, it did in my packaging. Oh, well, I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. Little cray glue. I'm just going to align these and throw a little glue on them. But that's what it should look like, is like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even using crazy glue. I'm going to use my Tamiya extra thin cement, because that'll melt the plastic together and it won't leave a blob of ugly white crazy glue residue. So we're just gonna get those squeezed together, and then they're gonna bond to the line underneath it as well. But yeah, if your part gets snapped in half, don't worry about it. You don't need a whole new replacement issue. I don't think. You just a little bit of Tamiya thin cement, and you'll be just right as rain, as the Oracle says from Neo. Ooh, that would be fun to get the Nebuchadnezzar from the Matrix. Oh yeah, Nebuchadnezzar. Oh baby, that would be a fun part work, man. That thing massive. Really interesting. That could get fun. Let's see what else we got to do here. We've got to put another hose on. I'm a little nervous about that because this one hasn't really cured yet. So let's see about this. So we got this guy. That is going to go from here to heat. No. We've got to put this little plate on first, it seems. Where does this go? Okay, this is going to go on here. We got to line it up, that hole above it, and then get this guy shoved through. Now that could use a little glue, I feel. That one's a little on the loosey-goosey side. We'll put a little glue on that because it's plastic to plastic. There we go. All right. Oh dear, am I going to watch Pentagon Wars again for the 9th time this year? I love that movie so much. Completed assembly. So we don't bolt these halves together just yet. We're going to go over to 41 where we get these parts. Looks like the transmission fluid pan and part of the bell housing. So that's good. Nice. Okay. It's like, isn't it nice that I'm not going to get nasty comments saying, that's a bell housing? Yes, I know it's a bell housing. Some people. What is going on here? That's interesting. Ooh, looks like a filter of some type, but I'm gonna catch it now. It is a filter. Wait, does this thing have an external transmission filter? No way. No way. No. I gotta Google the Ford Falcon XB GT to see if it has an external transmission filter. If this is like, because the bell housings both on the engine and the transmission could be an engine oil filter, but man, if that's a transmission filter, that would be somewhat unprecedented as far as I can tell. Gasoline engines usually don't get, gasoline engine vehicles don't get external transmission filters. Like, that's for like semi trucks. They also have coolant filters. They have filters for damn near everything on a big rig. I've actually installed an external transmission filter on my F-150 Lightning, just because I want that thing to live forever. But yeah, that's cool. That is very cool. If that's a transmission filter, Bob's your uncle. That's badass. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, I think, the naked side of the transmission, and we're going to put this on there. And we got 2 PS40 screws to hold that in. They're flange screws. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okie dokie. So with these screwed down, really all you need to do is just screw those down into their holes, just a little snug. That's it. And then we can slide that in there. We can slide this on here. We can put the other half of the transmission, sandwich those together, carefully because of all of our hoses we've put on. Flip her over. Grab a DSO1 screw. Get that on that side. Nice and snug. Let's get the other one. Get that going in there. Get that in there. Good and tight. There we go. We got a good chunk of the transmission. Well, most of it, really. I mean, that's all the transmission. But yeah, very nice. So that's all done, and then we're just gonna shove this filter on here. It's not super snug, so I would potentially might put a little crazy glue on that maybe. But there we go. Transmission's done. All this wiring, the entire circuit board is fully populated. All the wires are going everywhere. So you got, obviously, for the the tail lights, brake lights, reverse lights, what have you, or turn signals and brake lights probably. And then we've got a whole bunch going up front. So that should be fun. There's going to be a decent amount of lights in this car. And yeah, that's it for now. Okay, all done. Coming in 42, we're going to get the transmission shaft, support for the transmission cross member. They say the support for the transmission. It's a cross member, people. Use the right terms. Okay, sorry, Hachette. I apologize. My bad. But either way, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the wasteland next time on Pit Staying Hobbies when we get the next pack of these parts. Adios, everybody.